Welcome back to Tuntum Network, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cyrus. Today's topic is about Ghana. It's about the biggest disappointment in the history of Ghana since the year 2000 till now. It's about what the president of Ghana said in a short interview he granted a few journalists who interviewed him at the just ended the Super Delegates Conference at the headquarters of the NPP. I felt so deflated and defeated as a citizen of this country. I felt so disappointed when I saw him speak. But I don't want to be the judge at this point. I want you guys to go with me and look at the video. I'll break it down piece by piece so that we can all understand what I'm trying to send across. So I'm looking at the video here. And the first thing that I felt after watching the video was a president that had thrown in the towel. A president that had conceded defeat and has given up on the job that he was voted in to come and do. But this is the same president, okay, where I am worried. The reason why I'm doing this podcast is that I hardly believe people. I hardly commit myself to anything, especially in politics. But this is the man that I trusted. This is the president that oftentimes said the right things. And most of the things he said when he was on opposition caught my attention. I remember when he was at the inaugural ceremony in Accra. One of the statements that resonated with me was, if you want to make money, government isn't the place for you to make that money. You have to go to the private sector. And I thought, yes, he needed to send out that message to everyone that will be working with him. I mean, this is the man that promised Ghana a free SHS, an anthem that was sung throughout the whole country for many, many years. And he promised and gave timelines, and which he came in and he started working on it. And I felt, yes, finally we have somebody who is going to actually do what he promised. Even though we are having serious challenges with the whole system today. But at least he started off, and I thought that was a step in the right direction. I mean, this is the same man who came into power and hired a man from the opposition party to be the leader of a newly formed department, the special prosecutor, in the person of Mr. Martin Amidu, a pastor friend that I was standing with at the time. I clearly remember this. He said to me, Cyrus, like, Cyrus, people are going to have running stomach. Why? Because this is a guy from the opposition party who is having, his own problems with that party, and he knows where all the secrets are. Because at the time, there was a lot of perception of corruption, money stolen here and there. And you needed somebody who knew where the monies were hidden. And then he brought this man in, and I thought, yes, this man could champion that cause. I mean, who does that? He hired somebody from the opposition party. So all these things he was doing, made so much sense to me. But then he took the next step in hiring so many ministers. And the thing got me confused. Okay, so why do you need so many people to run this small country? And then he quickly came back and told us, well, I am in a hurry. And I'm like, okay, he's in a hurry to do what? To develop Ghana, to get Ghana to the level that he wants Ghana to be. Yeah, maybe that is what it's going to take in order for us to get there. So let's give him the benefit of doubt. So I had to hold my horses at the point and watch him. He was in a hurry. He spoke against family and friends when he was not in power. He stood against excessive borrowing. He spoke against taxation as a counterproductive medium. He actually described it as a lazy man's approach to increasing revenue. He spoke and proposed industrialization. He preached jobs and opportunities for the youth. I mean, he's the first president or candidate that was vying for president ever in my life that made me actually go to a political rally for the first time. I will never forget this. At the Nkoko Park. I was standing very far away. I was so supportive of the man, not necessarily the party, but I trusted the man. There was so much I admired from the man. Why? Because this is a man who has stood the test of time. I mean, look at it. It was very typical in everybody's life to sort of look at what was going on in the political life of Nana Addo and how it related to people's lives. He came the first time, he lost. He came the second time, he lost. He came the third time. That persevering spirit, I mean, it moved me. I'm like, yes, this is the kind of man that I want as a leader. Because normally people who struggle so much to earn something, they are the people who do most with what they earn. So I'm like, okay, once he has gotten it, I'm sure he's going to deliver. But since that time till now, ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has gotten worse, unfortunately. This is the sad part of the whole podcast that I'm doing. Ghana has gotten worse, and nobody in this country can say otherwise. It doesn't matter the political party you belong to. But looking at this video and the interview he granted to these people, it got me so disappointed and ashamed of myself. I don't want to exaggerate anything. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah. Mr. President, Ghanaians say they are not happy with the way conditions are. They are tired.
It's difficult. It's difficult. I'm the first to admit it. I've said it several times. I'm the first to admit it. But at the end of the day, I believe that when the moment comes, Ghanaians will reflect on who best can get us out of these difficulties and take us to the next stage. And that is the new patriotic party.
He asked him this particular question. Mr. President, Ghanaians say that they are not happy. And I'm quoting him. Mr. President, Ghanaians say they are not happy with the way conditions are. They are tired. I mean, every child will ask their father this question when things are not going well in their home. When your school fees isn't paid, when, rent problems, when there is no water and food in the house, every child will ask their father this question. So I thought that was a very good question to ask the president. Then the president comes in with the response. It's difficult. It's difficult. I'm the first to admit it. I've said it several times. I'm the first to admit it. But at the end of the day, I believe that when the moment comes, Ghanaians will reflect on who best can get us out of these difficulties and take us to the next stage, and that is the new patriotic party. I mean, he accepting the fact that the country was in difficulty was one thing, because I don't even believe that part. And this is the reason why I don't believe that part. As a president of Ghana, everything is catered for to you. You literally don't buy anything. If ever you wanted to buy anything, there are people at your beck and call who will just go and buy it. You don't actually bring money from your own pocket. So there is no point in your life within that space of being the president that you actually feel what the people go through. So when he said, it's difficult, I admit it. How do you admit it? When you are not living the ordinary life people live. I mean, it is more easy for me to believe a rich businessman who says this. Because at the end of the day, this rich businessman will have to pay his workers, pay his own fuel, pay his house rent if it's or mortgage, or his children's school fees, pay his own whatever. All right? But you are not in that same situation, Mr. President. Even though you try to empathize with the people of this country, it still didn't look like that. Because you are not living that kind of life. Let me break it down. It is difficult. That is a truth statement when he said it. Life in Ghana is more difficult today than ever before. Maybe the people around him tried to, tell him some of the things going on down here. That's how he's able to know that things are not as smooth as it is for him at the top. But I don't think he watches our local TVs. I don't think he goes on YouTube and watch some of these podcasts like mine, where people like me will try to tell him the reality of what is going on in Ghana. Because when he says he admits it, it's not an experiential thing for him. It is about what somebody has told him. And that is different. But this is the one statement that got me so disappointed in our own president. Let me quote for you. But at the end of the day, I believe that when the moment comes, Ghanaians will reflect on who best can get us out of these difficulties and take us to the next stage. And that is the new patriotic party. how did the president get to this level? This is where I'm confused, so confused. Mr. President, when did you come to this level where you just threw in the towel? After fighting for so many years to win power, in your 6th year. No, something is totally wrong. It is very, very heartbreaking to follow a person who actually gets what he has been asking for. And when he still has time on his hands to make changes, he tells you, no, don't look at me. Look at the next person that is coming. I mean, how do you come to this conclusion, Mr. President? How about you yourself? 1 year and 4 months. How about you? Are you saying at this point there is nobody in the cabinet who can contribute anything that can bring us out? Are you saying that you have run out of all the super ideas and all the men that you told us you have? What are you saying, Mr. President? People like me, when I hear things coming from you, I get so disappointed. Because I boldly told people to go and vote for you. And today they call me and say, Cyrus, so this is what we voted for? You could have easily said, we are doing all that we can to make sure that things get better than it is now. But that is not what you are saying. You are telling us to look at the next government and you are asking us to give it back to the MPP when your own work is not showing anything that is convincing enough. You see, a long time ago, I read a book. I don't remember the title. But there is this statement in the book that I picked up, and it has been with me till now. That great leaders are made during times of adversities, not times of plenty. End of quote. And I've always thought this is true. I mean, think about this. When there is so much resources and money and everything at your disposal, and as a result, you are able to do A, B, C. It's like being born in the house of a rich man. You are a rich man's son or daughter. You are born with a silver spoon, and you are able to build house and do this. People don't really see you as that, because all the resources you needed were given to you. Our national debt has skyrocketed. IMF is holding us by the waist. I mean, is this an another that Ghanaians trusted so much that people came out of their rooms in numbers in 2016 and voted unprecedented. It has never happened before. More than 1 million votes difference for one president. People's trust was that high that this man is bringing a change. Is this the change you promised Ghanaians? This one. When one ball of kenke is now 5 Ghana cedis, when we used to buy it at 1 cedis and 2 cedis. I do this podcast on politics because I really want to have the opportunity to interview some of these big men. And it will be a pleasure for me to interview Nanado someday. Because the kind of questions people ask him, I have a different way of asking. And I would like to ask him looking straight into his face and see what he will say. Because the man Nanado that I followed and believed in appears not to be the same person who speaks now. He's so comfortable. Everything has been done. I mean, he's gotten his 8 years. What else can he ask for? Whether rain or shine, at the end of 8 years, he's going to, on his retirement or wherever he will go and, have his peace of mind. This is bad. This is very bad for this nation. Please remember to subscribe. We need your subscription so much. Please hit the subscription button to help us grow. We want to reach the 1,000 mark by the end of this month. You are the same person who will help us get there. Share this content with as many people as you can. In your small chat groups on WhatsApp, on Telegram, wherever, on TikTok. Please help us get out there so that eventually we'll be able to interview these big men in this studio. Thank you so much for being a part of this. God bless you. Stay alive. Don't give up hope yet. Ghana is not over. Ghana is not sinking yet. Things are going to turn around. Until then, bye-bye for now.